Hey, welcome back. I got a little bit of a travel log for you today. We went to Hunanlu, which is a shopping area, and there's restaurants and stuff. And then we went to a Buddhist temple also, and I'm going to show you a little bit of footage from there. And then at the end, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Chinese language and how it works and how my classes are going. So stay tuned. This is Hunanlu. This is Hunan Road. You can see all these lights. At nighttime, this place is pretty much lit up obnoxiously like Las Vegas. The light art tunnel, which I guess is some kind of obnoxious light show at night. I don't know. You can tell we've assimilated into Chinese culture. We're doing things the Chinese way right now, in that we are chilling at KFC. KFC is a way of life here. People will eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And people will just come here to hang out, like Starbucks. It's insane. This is inside a Buddhist temple. I'm going to try and be quiet to respect the people praying here. We are at a Buddhist temple in Nanjing right now. You can I'm just going to do a 360 here so you can survey the scene with me. All the way up to this is the main pagoda. That's what it looks like. This is the view from the top of the pagoda. City far surpassed. After we finished at the Buddhist temple, we went over to that lake that you saw from the top of the pagoda there. It's called Xuanwu Lake, and we rented some paddle boats and we just paddled around. It was really fun. And afterward, one of my friends brought his slack rope, which is like a tightrope basically, and he strung it up between two trees and we tried to walk on it. So there's some pictures of me on Facebook failing miserably at that, if you want to laugh. And then also I came across these guys in the park who were doing this circusy juggling type thing, so Steve and I filmed it for you. Steve and I filmed this especially for you, being the circus extraordinaire that you are. So that was how I spent my Saturday, and then I came back and crashed out on the couch. Those paddle boats will really take it out of you. And then, so today's Sunday, and it's also Zhongqiujie, which is the Mid-Autumn Festival. So that means I don't have class tomorrow, for which I am very thankful. My Chinese classes are pretty difficult. It meets for 3.5 hours a day, Monday through Friday, pretty much. And it's just really hard. It's the first Chinese class I've ever had that's all taught in Chinese. And so I've taken 1.5 years of Chinese before this at U of A, but it's only helping just so much because the teachers will be like throwing out all this Chinese, and like they'll be using vocabulary that I don't necessarily know. And so by the time that I like figure out what they're saying and try and like reason through what the new vocab might mean, then I'm already like a paragraph behind what they're saying and I just have no idea what's going on. So it's really difficult. And usually by the end of the class, my brain is just sort of in this like haze where I just can't really even like focus my eyes on anything anymore. And I'm just kind of like walking like a zombie, making my way over to McDonald's or the place that my classmates and I have nicknamed Dumpling Heaven. Oh my gosh, it's so good. They have the best dumplings. And then I also had this like chicken noodle soup type thing here that was like homemade noodles, and I'm not sure, but I have a feeling the chicken was probably walking around like about 4 hours before I ate it, so it was like so good. Oh man.
I just want to tell you a little bit about the Chinese language now. The Chinese history stretches back about 5,000 years or more of continuous civilization, so they're very proud of that. And so also they have a long literary history with thousands of characters. Chinese has no alphabet. It's all character based, and they're not exactly like pictograms. Like, it's not like if you're trying to say car, then you just draw sort of a little picture of a car. It's not like that. They're all based on strokes and stuff like that, and I'll write a little bit for you. But basically, in the entirety of Chinese history, there's over 50,000 different characters in the language. A lot of those aren't still in use and stuff like that, and even a native Chinese speaker wouldn't know how to write all those. But to be considered literate and to be able to just read the newspaper and things like that, you need to know anywhere from 2,000 to 3,000 characters, and then you're considered like basically literate. So it's a very difficult language. If you're not good at math memorization, don't try it. I wish somebody would have told me that before I started, but here I go. So now I want to show you a little bit about how I write Chinese characters. Each character is one syllable. So if I want to say my name is Andrew Hall, I write 我叫郝安强。我叫郝安强. That means my name is Andrew Hall. This is my Chinese name here, Hao An Qiang. And I'll say, let's see. 我是美国人. I am American. So there's just a little sample. I am learning to write everything that I'm learning to say, theoretically. But as you can imagine, it's very difficult to cram all of these characters into your head. And as you go along, you start to see that there's a lot of patterns among them, and it's not like each one is completely independent of every other one. Like, there's a lot of overlap, and you can kind of start to guess at the meaning eventually, but based on like what little sub parts of each character you're looking at, you can sort of guess at the meaning. So like the word for computer, it means like electric brain, literally, like it's those two words combined, and things like that. So you can sort of guess at what things mean based on that kind of stuff.
So the Chinese that I'm learning is Mandarin Chinese. That's kind of like what most people probably think of when they say Chinese language. They're probably talking about Mandarin. There's many other different Chinese languages, Cantonese being one of the big ones. But I mean, historically, like, you could be from a village just 10 or 20 miles away and not understand the next village's language at all. They'd be mutually unintelligible. So it made a lot of things really difficult in China for a long time. But I'm learning Mandarin, which is kind of like the standard Chinese. It's the Chinese that's used in the educational system here. Yeah, so that's what I'm learning. And an interesting thing about Mandarin language is that it's what's called a tonal language. And for Westerners, this is a really weird concept because we don't really have anything comparable to it in English or any of the other sort of Western European languages. But basically what a tonal language is you have to pronounce things with a certain voice inflection, otherwise the meaning is totally different. So if I say ma, then that means mom, but if I say ma, then that means horse. If I say hao ma, that means okay, and if I say hao ma, that means number. So you can see how, and also they would be written totally differently. So if I say ma, that's written like totally differently than ma or ma. Those are all written like the characters look nothing alike when you write them. Well, YouTube only lets you upload 10-minute videos or less, so I'm almost out of time here. But thanks for watching. I've been coming to you live from Wutai Hua Yuan. That's the name of my apartment complex. Not to be confused with Wutai Hua Yuan. But I'll see you all next time. Thanks again for watching. Have a good day.